I can't believe I'm putting myself through this again. What's up everyone, welcome back to the channel and to another video. Today we are going to be doing a part 2 of debunking common Demon Slayer fun facts that I see on the internet. The first part in this series is one of my most well-performing videos on here, so apparently y'all like it when I talk about this, and I recently have actually seen quite a few more of these like fun facts pop up. So I actually grabbed a couple to talk about specifically, and then if we have time, I will add a few more at the end of this. So before we dive in, there's a couple things I would like to go over. Number one is this video is going to contain manga spoilers for Demon Slayer. Most of these fun facts quite literally are specifically manga spoilers, so if you don't want to get spoiled, unfortunately this video is not for you. Put a pin in it and go read the manga and just come back. And then finally, this is not meant to be like a mean video or anything like that. I'm not here to call out specific creators on what they say and that sort of thing. It's more of just somebody's got to address the really bad issue of misinformation in this fandom, because it has spread like wildfire to the point of I will hang out with people in real life and they'll just spout off something that they saw on the internet as a fun fact, and I'm sitting there like, how do I nicely tell you that that's not true? Because everyone that I know in real life relies on me for their Demon Slayer knowledge. So now that we got that out of the way, we are going to dive in. But before we do, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and leave a comment your thoughts. And also, if you want access to fun perks like emojis, priority reply in comments, and even getting to partake in deciding some of my future videos, you can join channel membership at any tier, just hitting the join button down below. Now, let's get into it. So one of the videos this one I was gonna start with because someone commented on my video with a link to this and kind of was the reason I wanted to do this video. It is now unavailable. It has been removed, which is actually insane. Luckily, I have a screen recording of it. All right, so the video just says, when you realize they are not here to protect Nezuko. And then if you look at the screen recording, there's a comment. This is where they put the explanation. You can't see the entire thing. And unfortunately, since this is just a screen recording, I can't really go back and show what they were saying. But if you put two and two together, what they're trying to say is they realized that they were not there to protect Nezuko. They were there to kill her if Muzan showed up. I've seen this one pop up quite a lot more recently. A lot of people have been talking about it. And I'm gonna say this. This is something that if you were to call it a theory, I would be okay with it. But of course, these videos are specifically not giving context to what they are talking about and trying to use this like gotcha moment to get views, right? That's the name of the game with content these days, is the more clickbaity, the more lack of context, and the more like shock value there are in videos, the more likely they are going to do well. And that's the name of the game when you want to be a content creator. I would say these people that post videos like this, they're not content creators though. They are just random people on the internet who decide to make stuff up. So if you were to say this was a theory, I would still have a list of reasons why I would disagree with you, which I will go over in a minute. But no, they do not specifically say that they are going to have a plan B to kill Nezuko if Muzan shows up. And they don't specifically say that they are not going to do that, right? That's never explained in the show. I will say, however, there are multiple parts within the story that lead me to believe that that was never part of the plan. Number one is they would not be able to hide a secret like that from Tanjiro, and Tanjiro would have nothing to say. He would go take her away and run away. Like, let's be so for real. Urokodaki, Ryu, and Tanjiro have been putting their lives on the line to defend her, so there is literally no way that Kagaya would be like, actually, we're going to just kill her if Muzan shows up. It does not make any sense to the way the characters were talking. Tanjiro would not be okay with that, and no, they would not be able to keep that plan a secret from Tanjiro. Some other things within the story that lead me to believe this is definitely not the case. Number one, Kagaya specifically mentions when he's talking to Muzan that he will not find Nezuko. He is very sure of that. The entire plan for that entire night is to hold Muzan in place. Yes, they of course knew that that might not work out, but their idea was they will have Muzan in place while the entire Demon Slayer Corps that is currently active is fighting him. So it makes a lot more sense that what they are doing with Nezuko, and by the way, the Ubuyashiki kids that did survive are also in this house, was to just protect them from a random demon attack. It could be any demon, even an upper moon, because the Demon Slayer Corps did not know that Muzan's plan was to have all demons in the Infinity Castle. Sanemi and Obanai in the anime did know about the Infinity Castle, but they didn't know what the plan was. I think if you pick up on context clues, it is very easy to understand that was never part of the plan. So those are kind of also reasons why I would disagree with someone if they said a theory like this. There's a couple of other reasons why I disagree with this theory. Number one, they would have at least one present Hashira there if that was part of the plan. If they genuinely felt that Muzan might show up at this house and try to absorb Nezuko, they know that just having 3 retired Hashira up against him would not be able to do anything. They would not be able to get to Nezuko on time to kill her. Not to mention, Nezuko would naturally probably fight back. They would need at least one strong Hashira there, which they obviously shouldn't have because they need all of their strong Hashira at the fight against Muzan, so they just have really no choice to have this as a backup plan. Number 2 is Nezuko has already been given medicine to turn back into a human, so I think that they're at this point kind of operating with the idea that she is going to turn back into a human at some point, and that will foil Muzan's plan. Kaguya, again, was very confident that Muzan would never find Nezuko. They have clearly hidden her in a very, very good spot because they don't want to chance any demons finding them. Because let's be for real, if a demon did show up, it would be pretty difficult for 3 retired Hashira to hold their own against, especially an upper moon. I could go on, there's a couple other things, but there's one final thing that I want to bring up with this before we move on to our next fun fact. And this is something that I've almost thought about making its own dedicated video because this is truly one of those things where I feel like that meme where it's one person standing in front of a crowd and saying, yes, you are all wrong. People will call this a theory. For the sake of this video, I will say this is my theory, but I think there is real, tangible proof in the story that Nezuko cannot die from a Nichiren blade. So for those of you who don't understand how the Nichiren blades work, first, it's in the name of Nichiren. I don't know why they didn't just translate it for us and give us the actual translation of this word, but Nichiren is not an English word, it is a Japanese word, and it means sun burst or sun ring. Nichi means sun or day, but in this context it means sun, and even I would argue that day works as well because they both mean kind of the same thing, sunlight. Rin has a few different rough translations, but all of it is like burst, ring, circle, that sort of thing. So the rough translation of Nichiren is sunburst, so these are sunburst swords. It is quite literally in the name how these work. It is explained throughout the story that the only thing that demons cannot regenerate is if they are attacked by sunlight. Well, what is something that happened in Swordsmith Village? Nezuko conquered the sun. She is immune to sunlight. Nichiren blades are built from ore that bathes in sunlight 24/7, 365 days a year. They work because they absorb sunlight. That's the only reason they work. If they did not absorb sunlight, even if they cut off a demon's head, they would just regenerate. Demons can regenerate their heads. They only can't when it is cut by a Nichiren blade because their head is their most vulnerable part of their body. So that, along with the sunlight, the weak sunlight that's in a Nichiren blade, that makes it so that they can't regenerate. But we do see some demons overcome the beheaded from a Nichiren blade and can still regenerate their heads. Again, that is because a Nichiren blade is weaker. So a demon that is immune to the sun can just regenerate their head because what made the Nichiren blade special now doesn't matter. When I talked about this on TikTok, I had so many comments saying Nezuko can't regenerate her head. Sure as hell she can. Nezuko is, from the get-go, a very strong character. She is an anomaly. She is able to not eat because she loves her family so much. She is the first demon that we know of that, upon transformation, can control her demon instincts, something that her older brother, who is the picture of purity in the show, was not even able to do. Nezuko is an anomaly. She's incredibly strong. Of course, she can regenerate her head. We see Muichiro regenerate his head when hit by something that's not a Nichiren blade. Nezuko is far and away stronger than him. Being immune to the sun cancels out what a Nichiren blade can do. So Nezuko is essentially immortal. No one on the Demon Slayer Corps can kill her while she is a demon. The only characters that I think might have a chance is possibly Shinobu because of wisteria poisoning, not really having anything to do specifically with the sun. So there's an unknown on that. Or like Muzan, Kokushibo, Doma, these characters that have proven to be able to absorb people could kill her because they can absorb her. But outside of that, no one else can kill her. And to further my claim, this will be my last point before I move on from this one because I've already been recording for 15 minutes, is at the very end when Tanjiro is turned into a demon and he instantly conquers the sun, Gyu explicitly states, how are we going to kill him? Because a red blade won't work against him. He's saying that because he is aware, since Tanjiro has conquered the sun, that that cancels out a Nichiren blade. So as a demon slayer, there is no way to kill a demon who has conquered the sun. That's the entire reason why they don't want Muzan to find Nezuko, because once that happens, he is unkillable from them. He will become immortal and wreak havoc on the world. The world will end, essentially. So that is my video. I'm not going to end the video here, but that is my reasoning for why this particular theory I think is very flawed. There's just too many things within the story that tell me no, that was never the plan. It goes against a lot of characters, and Nezuko is as close to immortal as you can get in the show. Let's move on. So there was another one that I had saved, but I can't remember exactly which one it was. She's saying, me every time someone reminds me that Muichiro died on his birthday and his body was never found, so the only thing in his coffin were his belongings. His crow didn't even know that, and he's the last in his bloodline. So some of this is true. He is the last in his bloodline because Yuichiro and Muichiro obviously were very young when they died. That was the end of Kokushibo's. That was the end of the Demon Slayer bloodline, like the Yoriichi Kokushibo bloodline, which makes sense because that was also the end of demonkind that night. His body was likely never found because the Infinity Castle would have faded away after they all were pushed to the top because Nakime died. But let's talk about his birthday, shall we? So for the record, Muichiro's canon birthday is August 8th. In case you weren't paying attention, the final battle is taking place at some point during the winter because there's literally snow falling while Kagaya and Muzan are speaking to each other. So at the very least, it is during the winter. I have a theory that it's actually happening on New Year's Eve to New Year's Day. I will put the video, I can never remember which side of the screen. I think it'll be on this side of the screen. I'll put it right there. I posted that like multiple years ago, but it's just a theory based off of the fact that the song that the Ubuyashiki girls were singing as they played with the ball to try and throw Muzan off is a common song that used to be sung by Japanese kids on New Year's Eve. So I have a theory that this all happened on New Year's Eve, but nonetheless, it is canon that it's happening during the winter time. This is Japan. It's near Tokyo. Like, it's not going to snow in August, okay? August is incredibly hot in Japan, hot and humid. It's like high 90s during the day and very, very humid. So no, Muichiro did not die on his birthday. None of the Demon Slayer characters canonically die on their birthdays. The only character that has a close chance of that would be Genya, whose birthday is January 7th, I believe. Let me fact check that. January 7th, yeah. And then Gyu's is in February, Sanemi's is in November, but both of them live, so it's not even close. Nezuko's is December 28th, but again, she lives. Genya I called out because he also died in the Infinity Castle arc. So all the other characters have like spring, summer birthdays. So no, Muichiro did not die on his birthday. Genya, maybe. But again, I still stand by the theory, and it's just a theory that it happened on New Year's Eve. Let's talk about something else. This is the last one we'll talk about. That'll be the end of the video. So fun fact, Zenitsu covers his ears at Tanjiro's funeral on his 25th birthday so he doesn't hear his heartbeat. disappears slowly. I'm gonna start with the obvious. They were burying him before he died? Sorry, man. Hope you weren't gonna live past 25 because we're burying you alive anyway and you will die of suffocation. What? No. The idea that Zenitsu heard Tanjiro's heartbeat slowly fade away, if Tanjiro did in fact die before the age of 25, like the Demon Slayer mark is explained in the story, I mean, I can argue obviously that would have happened, that he would have not specifically covered his ears, but had heard it because he can hear small things all the way down to, I think it's explained in season 1 that he can practically hear people's thoughts because he can hear so well, just like how Tanjiro can understand people's emotions through smell. So it makes sense that he would be able to hear his heartbeat slowly fade away the day that he dies, but it's not canon that he does it at his funeral because we know nothing. We don't even know if Tanjiro actually died before 25. We don't know if Sanemi and Giyu did. To me, and this is probably another video for another day, I felt like the way they explained the 25 mark curse was very clearly not fleshed out because they wanted to leave it up to the viewer to decide if they did or didn't die, right? Like Kokushibo even, it's called out that there was an exception with Yoriichi, so maybe Tanjiro can. I understand the side of people saying like, yes, they did. I understand the side of people saying, no, they didn't. Maybe at some point I'll make a very complex video about it. But this is just a silly fun fact because none of it is a fun fact, first of all. And second of all, this implies that they buried him alive on his 25th birthday, which would be crazy. All right, y'all. So that's gonna be all the ones that I go over today. Since I had those kind of pre-planned in my head, I knew I was gonna talk about them a little bit longer because I wanted to kind of discuss. So let me know what you think about all of the fun facts that I said, as well as my own theories and that sort of thing. I really like to talk about this kind of stuff within the Demon Slayer fandom so long as people use their critical thinking skills and like maybe do a little bit of research before just taking what you read on the internet as fact. So there's that. Feel free to debate me on the Nezuko thing in the comments. I will openly debate anyone who disagrees with me because to me, it's not even a theory, it's fact. Based off of the story. And a reminder is that there are some things that are true that aren't explicitly stated in the show. You have to pick up on context cues. That is storytelling 101. So that's gonna be it for today's video. If you liked it, don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and leave a comment your thoughts, and I will see you all in the next one. Mata ne!